Ticks and fleas are among the most common problems dog owners have to deal with year after year, season after season. As soon as the temperatures start to climb, the routine begins all over again. The constant scratching, the searching through the fur, the pulling off of parasites. For many dogs and their owners, this becomes the defining ritual of the warm months. And it isn't just an annoyance. Ticks can transmit diseases. Fleas cause intense itching and put a serious strain on both the skin and the coat. A single flea infestation can turn into weeks of irritation, restless nights, chewed raw patches of skin, and a dog that simply can't settle down. A single tick can carry something far worse. That's why so many owners reach for chemical spot-ons, collars, or tablets on a regular schedule. It feels like the obvious answer. Apply something once a month and the problem is supposed to be handled. 1. Why chemical treatments aren't always the ideal answer. But these exact products aren't always ideal, and a lot of owners have noticed that themselves. Many dogs react sensitively to chemical preparations. Skin irritation, listlessness, digestive problems, or general intolerances are anything but rare. You apply the treatment, and within a day or two, your dog seems off, a little duller, a little more tired, scratching at the application site, or refusing food. Especially with frequent, repeated use, more and more people find themselves wishing for a gentler alternative. And not least because we know so little about the long-term consequences. Cancer, liver, and kidney problems are only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the potential effects that are being widely discussed. The debate is ongoing, the studies are limited, and many owners simply don't want to keep applying strong substances to their dog month after month, year after year, without knowing what it adds up to over a lifetime. 2. The good news. 2 natural ingredients. Here's the good news. There are 2 natural ingredients you can simply add to your dog's food. 2 things that make your dog noticeably less attractive to ticks and fleas. Used correctly, they can influence the skin environment, the body odor, and the overall resilience of your dog in such a way that parasites settle on them far less often. Not by poisoning them on contact, not by creating a chemical barrier, but by changing the very thing that draws them in. But in order to understand why this actually works, it's important to first understand something else. Why some dogs seem to attract ticks and fleas almost magically, while others barely get touched. 3. Why some dogs are parasite magnets and others aren't. Many dog owners assume that parasites attack dogs purely at random. That is just bad luck. Wrong place, wrong time. But in reality, there are animals that are affected far more often than others. You've probably seen it yourself. One dog comes back from every single walk carrying several ticks, while the other one, walking the exact same path through the exact same grass, stays almost completely untouched. This often has nothing to do with the length of the coat. It has to do with the individual body environment of that particular dog. Ticks and fleas orient themselves by smell, by warmth, by skin oils, by the vapors and exhalations coming off the skin, and by the general condition of the skin and coat. They are not choosing at random. They are reading signals, and some dogs give off signals that are far more inviting than others. Dogs with irritated skin, a weak skin barrier, or an unbalanced diet often appear considerably more attractive to parasites. To a tick, that dog is simply the easier, more promising target. The hidden trigger: food, skin, and gut. A frequent trigger, therefore, is low-quality food. If the diet contains too many artificial additives, low-grade fats, or too few natural micronutrients, this usually shows up first in the skin and the coat. The skin becomes drier or more prone to inflammation. The coat turns dull, and the natural protective film, the layer that's supposed to be doing the defensive work, falls out of balance. On top of that, the skin and the gut are closely connected. A burdened gut can affect the immune system, and the immune system in turn affects skin health. It's a chain, and every link matters. If the organism as a whole is weakened, dogs become significantly more vulnerable to external stressors of every kind, parasites very much included. So it isn't only about fighting ticks or fleas from the outside, or killing them on contact with the dog's skin, especially since that approach requires a strong toxin, one that then sits across the entire surface of the dog's skin and penetrates through the skin into the body as well. Far more important is supporting the dog from the inside. so that parasites find him as uninteresting as possible in the first place. And beyond that, so that in the event of a bite, the risk of infection is kept as low as possible. And this is exactly what a simple combination of brewer's yeast and coconut oil is suited for. Ingredient 1, brewer's yeast, strengthens the skin barrier. Brewer's yeast has been a proven natural remedy in dog nutrition for many years. It isn't a trend and it isn't new. It's something that has quietly been used for decades. It contains a high concentration of B vitamins, amino acids, minerals, and trace elements. The B vitamins in particular play a central role for the skin, the coat, and the metabolism. They are involved in the processes that build and renew skin cells, and in the processes that keep the metabolism running smoothly. If the dog is supplied with these nutrients regularly, the skin structure frequently improves, the coat gains more shine, and the natural protective function of the skin can be strengthened. Owners often notice the cosmetic change first. The coat looks better, but the more important change is happening underneath. What's especially interesting, though, is the influence on body odor. Because of the B vitamins it contains, the skin's exhalations change slightly in some dogs. For us humans, it's barely perceptible. You won't smell anything different standing next to your dog. But for ticks and fleas, it's often considerably less attractive. The signal they were reading has been altered. This is why many dog owners report that after just 5 to 7 days of brewer's yeast, their dog is noticeably less affected by external parasites. In addition, brewer's yeast supports the gut flora, and a healthy gut in turn contributes to a strong immune system. That's an important factor for the dog's overall resilience, and it feeds right back into the skin-gut connection we talked about earlier. The only important thing here is to choose a high-quality brewer's yeast without added sugar or artificial flavorings. I'll go into the details in just a moment. Ingredient 2, coconut oil, scientifically confirmed as effective. Coconut oil is one of the best known natural remedies against external parasites. And unlike many home remedies, this one has actual research behind it. Responsible for this is above all the lauric acid it contains. Lauric acid gives coconut oil its characteristic smell, and it is perceived as unpleasant by a great many parasites. Ticks and fleas therefore tend to avoid dogs more often when coconut oil is used regularly. If coconut oil is added to the food, it can influence the skin and coat by way of the metabolism, working from the inside out. At the same time, it can also be applied externally, for example to the legs, the chest, or the neck. In other words, exactly where ticks like to climb up first. And the higher the lauric acid content, the more effectively it works. This is precisely why it's also important to use a high-quality, cold-pressed coconut oil. Cheap refined oils lose much of what makes this work in the first place. In addition, coconut oil nourishes when you apply it externally. It can calm dry patches of skin and often results in a smoother, more supple coat. One more big advantage, many dogs love the taste of coconut oil and take it with their food without any problem at all. There's no fight, no hiding it in something else, no trickery required. In a moment, I'll also tell you exactly how to combine brewer's yeast and coconut oil, and precisely how to dose them, why the combination is so effective. But first, why is the combination of these two remedies so effective? Brewer's yeast and coconut oil complement each other especially well. While brewer's yeast supports the dog from the inside, improving the skin and the metabolism and influencing the natural exhalations of the body, coconut oil acts on the skin environment both internally and externally. One works through nutrition, the other works through nutrition and direct contact. Together they cover both directions at once. What that means in practice is this: the dog isn't simply sprayed with something or protected for a short window of time. Instead, his entire external environment changes from the perspective of a parasite. Many chemical products only kill parasites after contact has already happened. The tick has to reach the dog, attach itself, and start feeding before anything happens at all. The natural combination starts earlier than that. In the best case, it can ensure that ticks and fleas don't find the dog interesting in the first place. On top of that, the skin, the coat, the digestion, and the immune system all benefit, precisely the areas that so often get neglected. The right mixture. Exact dosage by body weight. Now comes the most important part, the correct application in everyday life. For a dog weighing roughly 10 kilograms, you give 1 teaspoon of brewer's yeast and 1 teaspoon of virgin coconut oil daily, directly into the food. Both are simply mixed in. That's the whole procedure. For smaller dogs of around 5 kilograms, half a teaspoon of brewer's yeast and half a teaspoon of coconut oil per day is usually completely sufficient. Larger dogs of around 20 kilograms can as a rule receive 2 teaspoons of brewer's yeast and 2 teaspoons of coconut oil daily. If your dog doesn't know coconut oil yet, it's best to start with a smaller amount and increase it slowly over the course of a few days. This way, the digestion can get used to it more comfortably. Introducing a new fat too quickly is the one thing that can cause a soft stool, and it's easily avoided. External application before walks. In addition, you can massage a small amount of coconut oil into the fur and skin before walks. Focus especially on the paws, the legs, the belly, the chest, and the neck. These are exactly the places where ticks tend to attach themselves first, because that's where they make contact as your dog moves through grass and undergrowth. You don't need much. A thin film worked into the coat is enough. This gives you the internal effect and the external effect at the same time, right at the moment when your dog is about to be exposed. How long until you see results? The effect usually doesn't show up immediately on the first day. This is worth saying clearly because it's where most people give up too early. Natural remedies work through the body environment, and that takes a little time to change. You are not applying a barrier, you are shifting a signal, and the body needs a few days to make that shift. Many owners report noticeably fewer ticks and fleas after about 1 to 3 weeks of regular application. For the best effect, the mixture should be given daily during tick season, and in especially affected months, you can start a few weeks before the season even begins so that the change is already in place by the time the parasites become active. The rest has to be right too. But here's something really important. The best natural remedy works even better when everything else is right as well. Pay attention to high quality food, sufficient exercise, and a stable immune system. These aren't side notes, they're the foundation the whole thing rests on. A healthy dog with a good skin barrier is fundamentally less attractive to parasites. Brewer's yeast and coconut oil are supporting a system that's already working, not replacing one that's broken. Keep checking your dog anyway. Despite the natural support, keep checking your dog regularly after walks, especially after the woods, after meadows, or after walks through tall grass. Run your hands through the coat, check the ears, the neck, between the toes, and around the belly. The earlier ticks are discovered, the better. No remedy in the world can guarantee 100% that a tick will never land on your dog again. That's simply not how this works, and anyone claiming otherwise isn't being honest with you. But what you can do is massively reduce the probability, and that difference over an entire season is enormous. One last thing before you go. The next time your dog does have a tick, make sure you remove it in one very specific way so you don't accidentally increase the risk of Lyme disease. The technique matters more than most people realize. Click on the video appearing on screen to find out how to do it properly. And if you want to see more videos about natural dog health, effective home remedies, and simple everyday tips for a healthy dog life, then subscribe to Behind the Bark for free right now. And don't miss a single new video.